I pray that this finds who it needs to find when you most need it. When you need it most. Like, really. Welcome. Welcome. If you are watching this video, you've shifted, you've quantum leaped, and the confirmations are landing in the physical. You're going to start seeing them within the next few days. I wasn't going to share this, but I was guided to share it. And when I was recording it earlier, literally the bag that sits like hanging on my desk and is nowhere near my foot. As I said in the video, I was guided to share this, my bag nudged my foot and was like yes, Spirit's like yes, share it. So here I am. Lately, Two of Swords, I've been seeing it in my mind's eye for the past few weeks. And then when I did a reading for myself, Two of Swords came out. And in one of my oracle decks, the contract card came out, which is a woman holding a Libra scales, justice, as well as she has a scroll in her other hand, and then she has a blindfold on. 1, 2, 3 on the clock. Confirmation. I gotta, cause I've been getting chills all day. Okay, so I feel that it's going to be coming in like this, for it to ground. It's coming in very, very, very soon, and your body is just catching up to it. Your body is catching up to the decision that you made, because the decision is already made, right? And I've been hearing you made the right decision. And I keep hearing and seeing the episode from Girlfriends when Joan was when Joan chose to break up with, I don't know why I'm sharing this, so I guess somebody needs to hear this. When Joan chose to break up with Brock, even though they believed that they were each other's like soulmates, like destined to be together, right? But she chose not to settle because he did not want children and she wanted children. And she was on the fence. She was like, "Ooh, it's okay. We can, compromising." And at the end of the day, she was just like, "I can't. I can't. Like I love you so much and I'm in love with you so much, but not that much to where I will forego my, dream of having children, of having a family." So a few days or a few weeks later, like she was walking down the street and there was this guy standing there. It was like, "You made the right decision. You made the right decision." And she's like, "What?" So that's what I'm hearing. And they was trying to make it seem like he was crazy and, just loopy or whatever. But he was, I guess you could see it as like a spiritual guide, that just so happened to be there. But yes, that's very specific. So, but yes, I'm hearing you made the right decision, right? So decision, choice, path, and pathways have been coming up strongly, heavily, and strongly. So I'm guided to share my dreams, these few dreams. 444. Okay. One dream, I'm at this house, the house that I live in now. And However, the outside of the house, like the rest of the neighborhood, looks a little different. But it being in this house, it to me, that's my message of Michelle right now. Like, this is going on right now for you in your physical reality, right? So there's like people all over, whatever, people I'm familiar with, boom. And I kept having to turn around, right? As if like they like behind me, behind. And I'm like, okay, hey y'all, da, 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 whatever. And then I turn forward and across there's this like it was not obvious at all. There was this path. It wasn't a paved pathway. It wasn't like that. It was just this path. And it was more the energy of only those who know will see. Okay? Follow me. So I'm like, okay. Planes could be significant. That is like the 10th plane I've seen in 2 days. Just saying. So I'm looking and I'm like, ooh, something in me, and I mean deep in me, was like pulling at my spirit, my soul, like, girl, go over there, right? And I blinked my eyes and there were 2 white bunnies. And I was like, oh my gosh, now I really want to go, right? And then it was like every time I blinked, there were more and more bunnies that showed up. And I'm like, oh, I want to go. I really want to go. But I noticed that I was still standing. I was outside the house in the driveway. And I was still just standing there. I didn't go. And then I woke up. So I'm like, why didn't I go? I was thinking that to myself, why didn't I go, right? But something in me was pulling, like, come on. I did a reading a few days, or the next day, or that same day, one of them. The 2 of Swords came out. The contract card came out with the blindfold, Libra scales. The card, there was a card with a girl on it. Something about hands too. A lot of the images in the oracle cards were like of hands. I was drawn to hands and eyes. And next to her there was a bunny. It wasn't white, but it was a bunny, right? Follow me, okay? So that's that dream. Next dream. I'm at this movie theater. Not your average movie theater. It's a little different. And I'm there with a few like family members, right? So inside the movie, and even inside the actual theater itself, it was a auditorium. It was set up just like an auditorium. So the movie was playing on this big, huge screen, but then there's people on the stage playing out the movie, right? Something happened in the movie theater, and I got up and I walked out. Very, like no one really noticed, I don't think anyway, that I got up and left. When I got in the lobby of the movie theater, I looked like to my right a little, and I saw a staircase, and it was a beautiful staircase, like a home staircase type, right? And it was windy a little bit, real pretty. And I'm like, wow, the staircase in a movie theater, So I'm going up the staircase, and before I started, something in me again was just pulling at me, like Like, I want to go up these stairs. I want to go, right? And as I'm going up the stairs, I'm dancing, right? Like, just flowing and just feeling like so good. I just felt so alive in that moment as I'm going up the stairs, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love this, right? Again, pathway. And right before I got to the last step to get to the top, there was this violet light. And it changed between violet and deep blue. Like the color was just like, and it was like, like radiating, right? And I was like, ooh, I want to go. Like, I feel like it's calling me, right? But I didn't. I didn't go. I went back down the stairs and I said, no, I'm not going to go. I said, because I don't know what's over there. Follow me. Okay. So I went back down the stairs. And when I came back down the stairs, the family members that I was with at the theater, they came out and they looked at me like, why did you leave? You know, like, we're watching a movie and you left in the middle of the movie, right? So that's that dream. On top of that, I was driving across the bridge like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, and I look over, I always look at the water. I wasn't driving, my husband was driving, but so I was able to look, right? And I'm looking in the water and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I'm a Pisces rising, so water's my jam too. And when I looked, it's just it you know how there's waves in the water, right? But when I looked, there was a pathway. There was a pathway in the water. Another plane. Okay. I had to take a minute to ground myself because it's a lot of energy. Okay. 13 on the timer, y'all. There was a pathway in the water. And the pathway was as if it was like a road in the water. And the water on the left and right side of this pathway, the water wasn't even water. It was like the water was still. I don't, right? And when I saw that, I said, oh my. And I had to write it down in my notes. And I called my mother and I told her about it. And she was like, oh, girl. Because we had just had a conversation about something that she experienced when she was on a plane. Right? And my mother is a Pisces sun and a Pisces moon. So, yeah. Pathways, path, decision, making a decision. I say all of these things to get to this point here. I was watching a video on Instagram of the sister that I follow. Just started following her too. And I was like, oh my, like from the first one, I was like, yes, girl, like you speaking to me, right? Second one I saw was today. And it brought me back to something. I said a specific prayer a few days ago. And this prayer, when I said it, it was just so, it came from the depths of within me. Like, it wasn't a surface level, oh, this, that, whatever. It came from the depths of within my soul, my body, my spirit. And the things have been shifting in my physical reality that are lining up with I made the decision. I made the right decision. Now everything around you is changing. And here are the physical things in my physical reality that are aligning with what I prayed about and what I prayed for. The other day, my husband and I went to Walmart, and before we even got inside the Walmart, something was off. I was like, something is different. I don't know what it is. Something is different. We walk inside the Walmart, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, they took all the, and I said it to my husband. I was like, they took all the whatever was up there down. Because before, when you go in the Walmart, it was like a dimmer look, This time when we went in, it was more open, like the top things. I don't know what they call it, but it's like they took those down to make it more open at the top of the Walmart, and it looked brighter. And he was like, "What? No, it's the same." And I was like, "No, it's not. It looks so much brighter in here." And he was like, and at that point, I was like, "Zoop, shut it up. It's okay." And I say that because that's when it came to me, like, you quantum leaped. You shifted timelines. Follow me, okay? So, and how I know that for sure is because the last year that happened, when I pulled up to the Walmart and I got out the car, I said, something is different. I said, this is not the same Walmart. It's in the same spot, same address, same street, same geolocation, all of that, right? I said, but something is different. In the air, in the place, something is different. I was like, oh my God, something's different here, right? So that's how I knew this time. I was like, okay, this is my confirmation right here, right? In real time confirmation. Yesterday, we went to my daughter's fall festival at her school. And they had animals, like, for, everybody to pet. It was, well, not a lot of animals, but it was like a baby goat. And so I went, I was like, oh my God. And we were about to leave, and it was dark, but I heard the goat. And I was like, wait, they had animals here? I was like, oh, I gotta go pet me an animal now. So I went over, and it was a baby goat. And I was like, oh my God. And my inner child was just like, yes, let's go pet the baby goat. And I'm like, I know, girl. Like, I was just so excited because I used to go to a petting farm when I was in elementary school back in Baltimore, and I loved it. We went every year. So I got my youngest son with me, I'm helping him, guiding him through whatever. And I saw this, the goat like came up to me, like, like pet me, trying like put his hand under my head. It's like, oh. So, and it was just so magical and so beautiful. So I look over, and there's a cage like not too far from me. And I was like, and my son was like, what's in there? And I was like, let me look. So I look down, right? Y'all, why was there 3 bunnies in that cage? 2 of them were white and 1 was brown. I lie to you not. I said, okay. Like, and when I said that specific prayer, I prayed, I spoke, I was speaking into my water, into my tea specifically. And I made a specific tea, with specific herbs, right? Baby, this is the embodying season right now. My edges have been snatched. Okay. Like spirit is like, you prayed for this, and I know you were serious. Here, watch it unfold. And I'm like, okay, I got you.